Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Monday, July 27th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Weekly news and announcements on Monday. And let's not forget, it's Gary Gygax Day. Well, there you go then. That's an exciting thing. This is a day on which gaming is universally acceptable. Right? Let's just say it is. We don't care. We're going to game anyway, right? If we want to. We can game if we want to. We can roll our dice behind a screen. I shouldn't sing. That's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. Anywho, I'm obviously in a good mood. Gary Gygax Day always brings out the best in a gamer, I think. Of course, it's been Gary Gygax Day weekend, which is kind of like Independence Day weekend when Independence Day falls on the Monday or a Friday. Gary Gygax Day falling on a Monday this year. We started it off early on Friday. People gaming all weekend, having lots of fun, rolling dice, playing RPGs. I've been seeing reports come in all over the intrawebs. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I'll bet I am. I posted a picture of myself this morning from that era, standing with a suit of armor. I believe that was at a museum in Chicago, though it might have been somewhere else, some kitschy restaurant. For a while I used to think maybe that was at the old Playboy Club in 75 when I was there for my first Gen Con. But I can't find any pictures that make that background connect with the place, or the suit of armor for that matter. So I don't know that it was, or I don't have any reason to believe that it was for sure. There were a lot of places that had that sort of faux castle wall build look, whatever, the stone mortar. Anyway, it's a pretty cool suit of armor. I only come up to its shoulder. It might have been on a plinth because, well, maybe not. You know, I'm looking at it now. I see where the knees are on the greaves, and I've never been full-size suit. Right? Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty cool. There's me with a, I don't know, red and white striped shirt, doing my best, what's the name of the guy? Where's Waldo? Doing my best Waldo impression. I should just put that picture up, because not having that picture up while I'm talking about it is probably driving some people crazy. Let's just call it armor, and then we'll go find it. That's easy enough to do. I think I have it easily findable on, yeah, here we go. That'll work. There we go. Let's make it bigger. Because of the dreams of a young game designer in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, this young man started playing Chainmail and then Dungeons and Dragons. Thanks, Gary, and I hope everyone has a happy and dice-filled Gary Gygax Day. That's a sentiment that I think everyone can share. Everyone that cares about gaming and the origins of D&D in particular has to agree that Gary Gygax's birthday, he passed in 2008. He would have been 82 this year. And Gotta say, it would have been great if he was still around with us playing games and such, but we can play games in his name, in his spirit, and enjoy them in the playing. So people have been mentioning all weekend long the games that they've gotten together. Celebrating Gary Gygax during last night's D&D campaign with the Beholder Battle. Lee Vanderlip Jr. That's right, man. You have yourself a... Here, we'll throw this over here. And we'll undo that, I think. Here we go. And then we'll bop this. Whoops, where'd it go? I think we have to do this. There we go. Now we can see the big page. That's a pretty cool table, huh? You can see where it connects to the table. You can see that it's a mounted monitor underneath the table. That's pretty cool. And here, you know what? Here, let me pull myself up into this crazy picture. Can we do that? No, I'll never get myself there. Yeah, there we go. Make me smaller. Still playing around with this quite a bit, huh? Anywho, there we go. Let's see. Can you see the cursor on there? I think you can. Let's see who's in the chat. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell us. Morning! Oh, look at that. I've been ignoring the chat. Death Angel's Shadow. Grail Knight, good morning. Thank you. Happy Gary Gygax Day to you. Lexfire22. Hobbsy. Skull and Pants. They're all here. Hanging out in the chat. So check this out. Look at that. That's a nice little paint job on that beholder too, huh? This is the monitor and the table trick. A group of, what do we got there? 5 PCs. I think they're cowering in a storage room. Look at that. We got chests, shelves, supplies. There's a bridge over a chasm. And above another platform adjacent to this open on this chasm. Is that like bubbling? The color might be off on that. That might be like a bubbling lava situation. Although I think I've been planning on building one of those tables for a few years, says Death Angel Shadow. Yeah, absolutely, man. They are pretty cool when you have that inset monitor and you can bring up maps. And you know when you're able to use the... if you're able to use Roll20 with that... or some other virtual tabletop, Map Tools, Fantasy Grounds, Astral, whatever, and you're able to use a regular map and to have some... what's the effect I'm thinking of? Fog of War, right? If you're able to include a Fog of War effect, then you're like golden. That is the... Isn't it? I got to get out of the way of this picture here because I want to bring up the other picture here. Here's the gang. I'm going to show them. Here's the whole table, right? So it's all inset as well, like a pool table, right? There's a little drop. So you can put boards across in there and use this as a regular dining room table or whatever. You know, Joe, Cosmo Joe, Andy Watkins has his Kickstarter going right now. You should look that up and get yourself a custom-built table. You know, he's got a special way of doing it. He's got some set designs, some ones that you can choose from, but I have no doubt that he does custom stuff as well. The man is an artist. Hey, by the way, speaking of Kickstarters, 2 days left on Vallis Mortis. That's right. That's Tom Tullis's Fat Dragon Games, Valis Mortis. That's his home campaign being brought to life as a Kickstarter. Hey, look at this, by the way. I got a new chair. I'm all comfy and stuff. It's for a man with girth. So works for me, right? It's rated for at least 40 pounds more than I weighed this morning. So it's pretty sturdy. Just saying. The table altogether with the TV cost me around $1,300 built and delivered, says Grail Knight. The Fog of War is a game changer. If you see the dark space near the room, that was the Fog of War. Yeah, right on, right on. 8 foot by 4 foot. Not bad at all. Foundry looks very cool, says Alexfire22. Yeah, right on, Foundry. You want to check out all the virtual tabletops. There are a lot of them these days. Hey, by the way, while I'm pulling stuff out of my memory, let me just make sure that I say that it was Arcanus, right? Who won? What is, let me make sure I get the screen name right. Yeah, Artanis8242. Many of you know Artanis. Just to let you know, it was Artanis8242. Artanis, our second double winner, because Artanis was also a winner of a 13th Warrior DVD. Artanis lives in town, and the intention was to drop that off with Artanis at some point. But with everything going on, we have not connected. So I'm very glad that I was able to include Artanis in this other week giveaway, because not really able to take advantage of the other one, right? Because if you never got the thing, here we go. I mean, the more I looked at Foundry, the more I liked about it. DDB integration, can run it on your own computer as a server, on a VPS, or on a hosted site. Animated maps, tokens, effects. I mean, I blew the $50. Ah, okay. DDB. I'm not, maybe I know what that is, maybe I don't. It's not connecting with me. What is DDB an abbreviation for? I should probably know that, I'll bet. Skull and Pants, Hobbs. I'm updating the list too while I'm at it. Lexfire22, I got you on there. Grell Knight, Death Angel Shadow, you're all included. D&D Beyond. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I mean, D&D Beyond is essentially another virtual tabletop. It's just a... can you play anything besides D&D on D&D Beyond? It is dedicated to D&D, right? Of course, it integrates all of the electronic versions of all the actual D&D books. Can you play any? Here's the questions. Can you play anything besides D&D on D&D Beyond? And if you're playing on D&D Beyond, can you import, say, third-party products that you pick up on the DM's Guild that are, you know, D&D semi-official because they carry the seal of approval? No, it's licensed 5e content. All the content. Okay, all the 5e content, which is great if you're playing 5e and you want to use that content, right? And now I imagine you can run your own homebrew in 5e on there and just not use their content. But But I don't suppose you could even play first edition D&D on there, can you? That's a question I have, too. I use Fantasy Grounds, says Grail Knight. And I'm going to say Dungeon Fog to build, display, and host maps on the table. I'll have to look at Foundry. Right on. Yeah, check out everything that's out there, right? You can add your own homebrew stuff. Okay, so you can run your own adventures on there. It's integrated for the 5e rules, though, so I imagine when you want to have people create characters, those are going to be right on there as long as they're 5th edition and all that. I use Fantasy Grounds, LexFire22 says, for my campaigns. Have run Castles and Crusades and 2E. Right on. And Death Angel Shadow says, makes rolling up characters really easy, I'll bet. It keeps your players honest. Well, if you got to worry if your players are being honest, then maybe you ought to get out of the game. I don't know. So maps like this, though, are so cool, right? These guys are screwed. They're not getting out of here without a major fight. Beholders, traditionally one of the tougher, more dangerous opponents in Dungeons and Dragons, without a doubt. Oop, we want to switch to that. There we go. Will bring me back around. Put me back over there. Get the armor up. Gygax Day. That could be off. That doesn't matter. And then, where else are we at? What else do we need to talk about today? Is that pretty much it? We got Gary Gygax Day. We got Tom Tullis's Kickstarter. We've got Cosmo Joe's Kickstarter. Wolfsbane Manor over on Drive-Thru RPG has a new little spell book out. That's pretty cool. Sean Conlon. Yeah. You should check that out for sure. What else? I think that hits all the... If you're on the other side of the world, wish a very happy Gary Gygax Day to our buddy Heath of the Antipodean D20. He's in Adelaide. We were trying to figure out when the hell he and I are going to get a chance to play a game. And is your game a go for tonight? You know what? I've got you. I've got Artanis 8242. And I've got Dave Stevens so far. He's a local dude. Good guy. So that's 3. We can play with 3. I mean, I could use a 4th or a 5th. I mean, if we want, a 6th even. But now we're going to go with 3. So 6 o'clock on Roll20. We'll make sure that we're playing because it is Gary Gygax Day and it's important we get a game in. 6 o'clock Central is the time that I intend to run a game called Tower of Trouble. 1 E, A, D, and D. There'll be 5th level characters, pre-gens provided. You don't get off work till 8 Eastern, which is 7 Central. Right, yeah. Is that your regular time working? DAS? Can I call you DAS? Did I just abbreviate? Why is Angels not Shadow? Is Death Angels all one word? Shouldn't that be 2 words? Should Angels be hyphenated? Death Angels be hyphenated? I think Angels should be capitalized. 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sounds like a retail gig. Is that a retail gig? Are you chefing? Do you cover a lunch shift and then a dinner shift and then get off work? Death Angels with a apostrophe. Okay, gotcha. IT guy. There you go. Little the old Richard Iowati, huh? A little the old, what's his name? Heck, now I can't think of his name. He went on and did the revamp, the series of Get Shorty, the Irish guy. Damn it, I can't think of his name. Funny guy, though. Red Barn Games, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Let's get you in. Oops, let's see. There we go. Red Barn Games. There you go. Wanted to get you on the list. It's early in the week and we got a lot of people in here already. This is good. This is always a good thing, right? Happy Gary Gygax Day to you too, Red Barn Games. You support pharmacies, work for a software company. Nice. My pops was a pharmaceutical rep for Abbott Laboratories for 37 years before he retired. He has been retired for almost 25 years. He turned 88 yesterday. My father is 30 years older than me. I'll be 58 in October. Good genes, I guess. So there's a good chance if I take care of myself. Yeah, that's been working out. If I take care of myself, there's a chance I could, genetically speaking, live another 30 years. That's a lot of gaming. I could get a lot of gaming in another 30 years. That would be very cool. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see. What do we got there? Anything else? Happy Gary Gygax Day. Yup. To you too. Also, your wife's birthday. Hey, that's pretty cool. Oh, Grail Knight, thanks very much. Yeah, that's nice of you to, you get some kind of perks for that. I'm not sure what they are. I really don't have a handle on all that. One of these days, I'll figure all that stuff out. I guess I don't really think of this or any of the groups or anything else that I run on social media, which I consider this as, like a money-making thing. So I don't know. I guess you get some perks, but you'll have to look that up. I don't really know how that works. Genes are good, no doubt about it. So you got me by 10. I'm 47. Death Angel Shadow. Not bad. You'll be 50 before you know it. 59 in September. Lexfire topping me by a year and a month. Not bad at all. All good. Just wanted to support the channel. Thank you, Grail Knight. Absolutely. I do appreciate it. Let's see. One of the other questions. Do we have any... how many people that are here in the chat have ever been to Lake Geneva, or maybe more pertinently for today, met Gary Gygax, or let's say have been to a GaryCon? Just give me a hands up, a yes, and maybe the year or the circumstances. Like I met Gary in 1997 at a Gen Con, or I was in Lake Geneva in 2005 on a road trip across the country, or any kind of a I have met both Gary and Dave, worked with Dave. Red Barnes, you worked with Dave Arneson, huh? Very nice. In Lake Geneva on Saturday, says Hobbsy. What the hell were you doing in Lake Geneva and you didn't let me? Well, it's fair. I was down in Rockford. Is that where you are, Rockford? I was down in Rockford a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't give you a heads up, so that would be apropos. Red Barns. What, Red Barn Games? What's the story with that, anyway? Worked with Dave where? GaryCon in Lake Geneva is about 50 miles away. Not bad, Lexfire. If you gun it, you can make it in under an hour. And that is how we do. Anybody else who has time and wants to get in on the 6 o'clock game, we got a couple of seats still open. Feel free to PM me here or on Facebook. Those are the easiest two ways. Facebook's easier than this, actually, because a lot of times I'll close this and I won't open for hours, but I'll leave Facebook up in the background so I can see any notifications I might get. Is that about it? Yeah, I'm on most social media. MeWe, Twitter, Instagram. I've got that Patreon site and Discord, of course, and here. And met Gary at a book signing for Dangerous Journeys. Hey, that's all right. Was that in the 90s or was it later than that? Grail Knight says, I was contributing editor on one of his modules for Legendary Adventures. 3rd edition D&D conversion. Right on. Yeah, so that had to be the early 2000s probably then, huh? The module was called Hermit by Trollord Games. Oh yeah, that's very early in the 2000s. I remember that one. Gary Con and Lake Geneva. Yep. Virtual Greyhawk Con. You participating. You know, that's coming up in early October. I know Jay and that Lord Gasumba on Twitch and Carlos Lysing and a bunch of other people. I think Eric Mona is going to be there as one of the guests at the celebrity game along with Luke. Anna Meyer, of course, tirelessly working to make Greyhawk a welcome place for everybody with those maps and everything. I am not a Greyhawk guy. When I started playing D&D in 74, there wasn't a Greyhawk yet. When Greyhawk, the supplement for OD&D came out, it was more of like a rules expansion, almost more like a not really a setting book. And then when started releasing modules, I was not using them. I played in many of them. The other guy who DM'd with our group of young players kind of had dibs on the stuff that was officially coming out from D&D, as well as, and you know, dibs. You call dibs, it's like if nobody else actually wants what you were asking for, it kind of looks a little silly. Dibs on the last piece of fruitcake. Yeah, so what? Yeah, okay, dibs, you got it. Not that they weren't good stuff, but I wanted to play in those, right? And so when he got dibs on the official modules and Dungeon Magazine when they finally started coming out, and Judges Guild stuff, and Rolade stuff from Mayfair, right? And just about anything else that had official AD&D on the cover was kind of dibbed up by my buddy, which I did not care, because I was writing my own stuff. I was setting up my own homebrew campaign as per the little booklets, you know. Start with a dungeon and a little town nearby that they can go back and forth to get supplies, as if they were going to live. And, you know, from there, the Grimwald was born. So my setting dates back to 74. Wasn't actually called that originally because it was just a dungeon and a town, but shades, portions of those earliest things still exist in the campaign world that I created for Dungeons & Dragons for my own DMing way back when. Anything I've put out that has any sort of flavor to it includes stuff from my own game. So that's the dealio there. What do we got here? Let's see. Wait, people eat fruitcake? No, nobody does. That's why we don't care if you get dibs. I had a Dangerous Journeys book. Must have gotten it early 2000s. Right on. Virtual Greyhawk Con. So the story is I don't play in Greyhawk. I don't run Greyhawk games. I will probably sign up and play in some games, but I'm not going to DM anything because I don't want to. I don't want to mess up anybody's Greyhawk by not knowing Greyhawk well. I played in during third edition when Living Greyhawk was a thing. I played all the time. I played at conventions. I played at game days. So I played in a lot of Greyhawk games then too. And Verbabonk was our Northern Illinois. It might have been all Illinois region for Living Greyhawk. But yeah. I when the Giant magazine or the Giant modules came out, and I remember playing at a Gen Con in those, and I remember playing with the Kuatoa and the Drow in those when they first came out and were part of the big AD&D opens at the early Gen Cons. So, and all that's part of Greyhawk. That's all pre-Forgotten Realms. I converted Blackmoor to 3E, wrote the first official Blackmoor module in 30 years, plus a number of other Blackmoor source books, and I ghost wrote a Gen Con adventure module for Dave. No kidding, Red Barn. Those Blackmoor books are pretty coveted. I've seen them around, and they always go for a very high price. The early 2000s stuff, right? The third edition revamps of Blackmoor, right? There's only one fruit cake and people pass it around. Yeah, right? Is that an old George Carlin? Is that a George Carlin? That's somebody's bit, right? Where there really only exists in the world a single fruit cake, and it just keeps changing hands, gets regifted all the time. We always did Forgotten Realms, so while I knew of it because of AD&D 2E and 3.5. Yeah, okay. Never played or DM in Greyhawk. There you go. Yup, Red Barnes is confirming the timing on the revamps of Blackmoor there. I was in Lake Geneva last time I brought my family to see you about the Sun School project. Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, Mike. So that was it fall? Was it that far back? No, it was even longer ago, wasn't it? I'm almost 90s probably. That is 90s, right, Hobbs? Not 98, right? And I wouldn't know what that meant. Mick Garrett, a book signer. There it is. 90s probably. Oh yeah. Okay, that's tied to that. Gotcha. All right. So where are we at on time? We're over. Okay, that's all right. Let's go back to this screen, and then we can just cycle through the schedule, right? Tomorrow, cartography and world building. Campaign discussion on Wednesday. Game running tips comes in on Thursday. Building adventures on Friday. DM reviews on Saturday. And rules retrospective on Sunday, then back around to the weekly news and announcements. I want to thank everybody very much for following the channel, subscribing in the case of Growlite, thank you, and for chiming in on the stream chat while you're here. Remember, that's the easiest way to get yourself in on the weekly giveaway, because if you are a follower and you chime in during a live stream, then we put you on the list. It's our way of saying thanks and also just making sure you're not a robot. Look at that. There he is, Ink Dweller 8. I knew you were there somewhere. Just hiding out. Get you on the list too, buddy. There you are. All right. And don't forget, even though I'm still giving away virtual Gamehole Con badges, right? Then if you get a second one, we'll just associate it with another family member of yours or a friend or whatever. Or if you want to pass it along to someone else in the someone else in your group. Have a great, safe chat. See you all in the morning. Grell night. I'll see you at 6, right? We'll be sending some messages back and forth to square up the timing on that. But you're in, right? Lee? No, maybe not. I thought, Lexfire. No, you're busy, right? Yeah. Gotcha. Alrighty. Thank you all very much. Also, hey, if you're checking this out on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Feel free to put a little constructive criticism in the comment section. It's always welcome. And everybody have a great and happy Gary Gygax Day. Bye-bye.